me, Grant. We're playing some Ocarina of Time. Perhaps the best game that has ever been made. We played some of this on stream a while ago, and I just think we should jump back into the save. I played this game on my personal N64, and it was like one of those situations where I was playing with my cousin, like we were both playing it at the same time, and it was like a how far are you, like, oh man, no, you need to keep going because this next dungeon is crazy. But it's an all-timer. It basically figured out how to make 3D action adventure games, and I do want to control the camera with my my right stick, but I just have to not do that. So I got the thing. Do I just go here? I think I can just start. Because I don't remember. I assume we got, because we have the listen and stuff. So I think I can go up and just go here. Get fucked. And I loved the ever-loving Christ out of it. It was so good. I had such a great time. And then I played Majora's Mask and liked it. And it's weird and not, like, you know, it is in many ways like Ocarina of Time, but in many ways not like Ocarina of Time. But then when Wind Waker came out, I was in. So mind you, I grew up with Zelda. Like my parents had purchased an NES, and like my parents had played through the original Legend of Zelda, and they had Zelda 2. We did not have 16-bit consoles in the house, so like I was aware that there was another Zelda game on the SNES, but I, like, you know, didn't have access to that. I knew it was there and that it seemed cool. You know, I had some friends who had SNESs. I don't think I ever played, like, there were other SNES games that I had played, and I don't think I ever played Link to the Past. But I had a cousin, a different cousin than the one I first mentioned. And he had, and he had Ocarina of Time, and I played it at his house. I was like, fuck, this is the real goddamn deal. And he was, if I remember correctly, he got it early, and I went to his house, and he was doing the Twin Rova fight, and I was just like, this is the coolest shit I have ever seen in my entire life. That temple's a great, like, visual showcase for the game. There's lots and lots of talk about there's lots and lots of talk about there being a Zelda Ocarina of Time remake coming this year, which I don't know, man. I don't know if that's true. Part of me is like, okay, well, I am kind of interested in seeing what they would do, but then there's another part of me of just like, make new games. I think, like, put out the 3DS version, make the 3DS version of the game playable on modern hardware. Sure, yeah, do that. By all means, do that. I fucking Skulltulas. They're a huge pain in my ass. No, I don't remember. Okay, so I came out of there. Are there other things that I want to do, or do I just need to jump down now? I probably just jumped down. Let's see if I fuck it up. Okay. Okay, I was able to get it. I remember that being one of those things, like when I was playing early on, being like, ah, this is, I had to do this jump like 10 times. Does that sound like I just killed a Keys? Did I kill a Keys? I didn't see a Keys. Okay. Okay, I have to set. That on fire to get in here. Oh, that's what I missed. I didn't step on it. I'm like, I don't remember how this goes. I see step on the fucking switch. I got too hung up on the Skulltula. The N64 was very cool, but you needed the right stick. Is this 23 is number one? Yep, I will never forget that. '23 is number one. I hate the inverted controls. It's miserable. Nintendo really had inverted controls as their default for too long. So I have to dive. It's been a minute since I've replayed, like went through the entirety of Ocarina of Time. I used to replay it once a year. For years, I would play it once a year. It's possible it was like for the first like decade that this game existed, I was playing it once a year. Well past when Wind Waker existed. Nope. They really nailed a lot of the tone and stuff. And I think Wind Waker is an incredible game, but I just think about the Triforce hunting and stuff, and I want to fucking die. And it is way better on the Wii U, but that game, the Wii U version, didn't exist for a long time. And I don't think I've ever, once I beat Wind Waker once on the GameCube, I have played it, like I went back and played it when, like a good portion of that game when it came out on the Wii U. But I don't think I beat, yeah, I am very certain that I did not beat it again. So I think I've only ever beaten, and it was like, I had the Triforce stuff. I had to. It was like pulling teeth, and I'm just like, oh, I guess I'll continue going here, going through these, but I'm having a bad time. I'm gonna bomb that, but I don't have. Oh fuck! I forgot about these fucking douchebags. Ugh. Hate him. Where are you? Do they just keep spawning? Or is it just 3? I was never against Wind Waker looking the way it looked. I always thought it looked neat. Which, listen, I was a teenager. You would think, oh, teenager, they're grimdark as hell. It's the early aughts. But nope, I was into it the whole time. I thought it looked sick. And I was very into what if Zelda could look really different. Like, make decisions. And like, listen, don't get me wrong. I also liked Twilight Princess, and I was like, oh yeah, no, that looks really good on the GameCube, like that, like the style. And it's also so weird. That's the thing about Twilight Princess is people think that it's just like grim and dark, like butt rock Zelda, but it's really weird. It's a really weird Zelda that has a bunch of, it's weird in the way that lots of like Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask are weird. Like, yeah, it's dark or whatever, but it's more that it's weird, and they're like who are these freaks? Like it has Tingle vibes at times, and I think very highly. 23 is number 1, you guys. Community shit. It's a pretty shitty secret, if I'm being honest. I always narc on my queen when people figure out my deep dark secret. It's an interesting decision that these early temples don't need a boss key. You gonna tell me that that's not a weird looking fucking I also think this is like the only meaningful use of DQ nuts. I'm sure that there is like some fucking bullshit speedrunning strat. Fuck. I keep forgetting that you just have so little health when you start the game. And I'm just like, I'm so used to, god damn it, I'm so used to just tanking damage, of being like, yeah, fucking, I'm gonna take hits, but whatever, I'm gonna end this fight faster. You can't tank hits. It's relatively fast to get back to the boss, but I want all things, like when there are boss, like if it's a game that is a boss, like a game where you go and you do bosses. I just want to be, if I die, I just want to start back at the beginning of the boss fight. I hate this lady. And honestly, her egg, like, shooter sucks, dude. One more time, I think. Don't take damage. Don't tank damage. I hate those guys. Oh, I have to go again? Fuck. No, I obviously don't want that game. Give me some fucking health, dude. Oh my god. I don't remember having to do this that much. It's also, I don't know. It's kind of a boring boss fight. And that, like, the stages are, just take so long to get. Also, using items on a non N64 controller are bad. It's bad. It's a bad setup. So, like, yeah, I mean, obviously, there are a million ways you could improve Ocarina of Time, you know, like a modern sense, a modern game design sense, but like for the time and place that came out, it's hard to argue. Honestly, if it had, because when they remade it for the 3DS, they didn't add right stick support. When they remade Majora's Mask, they had right stick support in the 3DS. You could either use like the add-on, or if you had like a new 3DS, it had the right nub. Having a right stick, I think, would make that game very palatable to a modern audience. There's weird, like, Orientalism with Gerudo's. There's a little like, it's it's complicated, and I think feels weird still. However, Ganondorf, I think, is an incredible bad guy. Like when they introduce him, because you have to remember, and it is easy to forget in a modern sense, that we didn't have Ganondorf. We had Ganon. We had the Pigman, weird pig demon dude. But Ganondorf, this fucking dude, brand new. I was also, this may, because I'm not a lore person, but this shit got me. Especially because you could then, later in the game, you like collect powers from the 3 different goddesses. It really got my brain churning. I've never written fanfic, but it's like, you know, the fanfic's happening in my brain. I guess I could have rewound that boss fight when I died. It's his evil fucking heart. It is fucked up that they're like, "Hey, you gotta save me, dude," and then you do it, and it's like, now I'm dead, dude. Blah, blah. I also thought that these looked the gems looked very cool. I think there is a specific aesthetic of early 3D gold. I spent a good portion of the other night looking up because there was like an edutainment game or software suite multimedia experience about Egypt that I played on a computer on a CD-ROM when I was a child, a young person. And I can't for the life of me find the exact one because I find it I find things that sound like it would be it, and then there's just a million threads and like Reddit and the likes that if you're just searching like 90s Egypt PC game or like like there's a bunch of those searches and there's just there's so many of them and I'm like, oh, maybe this is it. And then I look at it, I'm like, no, I don't think this is exactly what I was looking at, or what I remember when I was a kid. Yeah, I don't know. It's there's a lot of shit that I just played. Like, why did my parents have the CD-ROM? What possessed them to buy it? But I played it. There's so much like that multimedia era. So many things. So many weird fucking games. And you would just get... The reality is I think my dad would just go to computer conventions and there would just be a bunch of fucking software. Like, hey, you want to buy 20 games for, $15 or something? And it's like, yeah, I do. Yes, I do. Thank you very much. I've always thought this is funny where it's like that you run past her and then she loads in. I'm like, did Link not see her because of the N64's like terrible LOD stuff? I had never seen when this game came out, and I was reading it on the internet, reading the word the internet. I'd never seen it before, and my brain wanted it to be a cornea of time. And then I think I said it out loud and to my mother, and she's like, "Do you mean Ocarina?" Because like ocarinas are things that exist in the real world, but a cornea, I think sounds pretty cool. I also wanted the Kokiri to be Kokori, and that was not. They're not Kokori. I've always thought it's funny. They try to do cinematic things where they do like a close up of faces, but it's like a PS1 game or an N64 game. And it's just pixelated garbage. It's just there's no like they're close up on a face like to be like, oh, look at this person's like has been affected by what has happened, and it's just a pixelated nonsense face. I've always thought that that's pretty funny. Would I get rid of the weird little dino skeletons if I was remaking Ocarina of Time? I think the answer is yes. That's not to say that you don't replace them with something else that like is in the world. I think the popping up and here's the dino skeleton when it's nighttime, I think bad. Also, Gabora, what a fucking nightmare I remember just smashing through the buttons and then getting stuck in the loop because I was just trying to get through as fast as possible. And they're like, yeah, motherfucker, we know that you're going to do that. And we're not happy about it. Read our text. It's a Nintendo being like, you motherfuckers. Bonk. I know. I did tend to roll, but it's kind of annoying to just roll everywhere. Or it gets dark right before you get there. I do want to say, I think it might be possible to get here before the sun sets. But obviously like they want this to happen. Everybody hates the Dino Boys. I also have never fully thought until now about the decisions on how they do the walled off areas of just like, I don't know, rock. And you go, rock, is this like a cliff? And you're like, no, rocks. Wall of rock. Because you're like, is this supposed to be like the Great Wall type? No, rock. Just rock. See, that's a wall. This is just rock. It's a great game. And it's also, you can see, I feel like these days when you play it and you see how like it barely holds, like it's barely held together. It's held together with like duct tape. There's so many like hacks that you have to like put into place to have it all come together for such a, like, the N64 was powerful, like reasonably powerful for its time, for sure. Like I don't think anybody doubts that it's like a decent machine, but so early in the realm of 3D gaming when it was being like designed and then released, it's lots of compromises to get things. This motherfucker. They trick you with the wording. Such a shit. I also, when you first meet Gabora, he says something like, a staff will come up, and I'm like, what the fuck you mean a staff? I was unfamiliar at that point with like a musical staff. Is that what he was referring to? I thought he meant like Jafar's staff. There's bugs there that I could scoop up the bottle. Oh, I remember. It's such an annoying design here. But see, look at those vines. Like this low res asset that also doesn't like fully blend with the aesthetics of the rest of the environment. But I mean, what did I do But like I understand to some degree. All right. I've got to not get caught. See if I can remember what I have to do to not get caught. There's lots of stuff that just burned into my brain. I have to go up this. Come on. And see, like that shit where you're just like catching an edge. You gotta get that shit figured out, Nintendo. Also, I feel like I got used to playing this game in like other emulated ways that have a higher resolution. Like I want to say I'm more used to playing like the GameCube version, which I think is running. It's emulating the N64 game, but it's like, I think it's running at a higher internal resolution. So some of the stuff that's further away, it looks pixelated. Oh right, fuck. What do I have to do? I have to go get. Oh no, she gave me. No. What do I? Oh, fuck. I forgot about this. Did you not? I don't remember. Fuck. Fuck. I guess I could just have them throw me out. That would be fast. Oh, yeah, I don't even think I can. Oh, do I have to do this to go find her? Is that what I... Oh. I always felt like it was weird the way that time worked. And that, like, you could be... But, like, time paused when you're in certain places. I also really loved when I was a kid and found it really magical that there would just be things that, like, back there in the area where you get like Din's fire or whatever, like something back there. There's a great fairy. That there would just be boulders there, and you'd be like, okay, I can't do anything with this, but like this seems weird, right? And then later in the game, you get like, here's how you get rid of these fucking boulders. And you go, oh, I go back to this place and it's there. That was very engaging to me as a child, or it felt more novel at the time. Not that it was the first game to do that. It obviously was not. Here and then. What in tarnation? Come on, Mario. I love that running. I love that running animation. It's such a good running animation. I wish there was a more goofy animation type shit in the Zelda games. There is some. There is some of it. I love when you King Zora and he scooches it. Right. Meh. Meh. Awesome. It's great. It's incredible. Oh, God damn it. Contextual buttons, man. They're brutal. A lot of block pushing puzzles. Which I don't mind, but I can't say I'm like in love with block pushing puzzles. Gotta not get caught. Soundtrack is great. I think I might have spoken about this on the podcast at some point, but there was Zelda Reorchestrated, which is like a fan remake of the Zelda music. A reorchestration, if you will. My mom needed music with no vocals, and I like burned her versions of those songs, and so like there's just some classic Zelda jams that my mom has like burned into her memory because she played them at like her office for so much. Which is great because those songs are great, awesome. Like you don't really have to know anything about Zelda to know that music rules. And here's where there's Yoshi and Mario and Bowser and Luigi, and then I don't remember. Is there anything over here? Maybe not. It's a him, Mario. I remember the sneaking part was way harder when I was a kid, and like some of it is that I just like have burned into my brain how you get around them, but also as a full-grown adult who has played video games for many more years, it's so easy to see the patterns now, and I just feel as a kid it felt like I couldn't watch them and then just read here's the timing and all that stuff. But you know, to modern eyes, it's pretty clearly a very simple pattern. Princess of Hyrule. A very pointy lady. That's Zelda. And it goes a little something like this. So it's also an interesting way to depict goddesses. What if they were weird little statuettes? The vibrations in the Joy Cons felt pretty good. This is one of the. I think this is the first game that I had Rumble with. I'm sure many of you remember this, but you had to have a separate Rumble pack. You had to. It was a separate accessory that you had to plug into your N64 controller to have Rumble, and then that had batteries in it because it wasn't getting. I'm sure some amount of power was happening between them, but not nearly enough to power the Rumble. I always hated those fake choices of like, will you look through the window and you just go no, and they're like, are you sure? And you just have to say yes. Like, why? Why? Do they think that that's meaningful gameplay? Like, I guess it's like it is gameplay, but it's not good gameplay. And like, look at these billboarded flowers. And like, it looks okay. It is always what like having the camera do that, where it goes right up to the camera. Like let's have this cinematic, camera angle, and it's like let's have this texture that's right up on the lens of the camera, and it goes, don't do that. It breaks. Like if it's a small thing on the floor, you go like, oh yeah, there are flowers there, I'm not going to investigate this further. I'm playing the game, but like let's really showcase how smeary this is. The Ocarina of Time. It's a little on the nose that they just call it the Ocarina of Time and not like the magical ocarina or some shit. Sweet. Okay, let's save. And I think that's it. That was a good time. I love Zelda. It's a great game. I will continue playing this game on stream at some point or on video on demand at some point throughout it, and we'll see how far we get. I love it. I hope you love it too. For now, bye bye.